Hi everyone, my name is Alexandre and today I'm taking you in a real life case where we're using Scribewave and all its cool features to do an analysis of an invoicing process of Scribewave itself. Let's dive in. So first, how do we optimally prepare for a meeting? In Scribewave, you can use different folders to customize your settings for each project. For example, I've made this collection, Core Processes Review Project, where I put all my meetings of the different core processes we're reviewing. In this collection, you can customize your settings. We can adjust some custom vocabulary. Vocabulary we think will definitely be mentioned during our interviews, so that Scribewave recognizes them and it's easier to edit afterwards. So for example, we're definitely mentioning Scribewave. We're mentioning the names of the people involved in the project, so in this case Ulysse and myself Alexandre, and probably we're mentioning some of the tools Scribewave is using. You can already put this custom vocabulary in up front, but if you were to forget something, you can also put it in afterwards. Then you can also define some custom meeting instructions. I can ask Scribewave to automatically generate some meeting notes for me. In this case, since we're doing a core process review, I wanted to make meeting notes in a certain structure. I would like to mention the metadata of the meeting. So for example, the date of the meeting and the people present, also the scope of the meeting. Then the process is mentioned in the meeting broken down in different steps, then a summary of the process frictions that were discussed, and then next steps if they were mentioned. I also want the meeting notes to be automatically sent to my email so that I can easily review them afterwards. I click save and we can dive in the meeting. The easiest way to transcribe your meeting is to actually invite the Scribewave meeting bot, and then it automatically transcribes with the instructions we just defined. I'll show you in my Google Calendar. I give it a title and I'm inviting Ulysse and also our meeting bot. meet.scribewave.com. There we go. To actually have the settings we just defined in our collection, I move again to Scribewave, go to collection, I copy the hashtag and then put it into the description. There we go. So I'm now joining the meeting. Hi Ulysse, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for making time for this meeting. So maybe just a little bit of setting the scene. Why are we having this meeting today?
All right, great. Thank you for your time.
Perfect, thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Our meeting is finished. Since the Scribewave bot joined our call, we automatically got a meeting note summary in our inbox, as well as the transcription in our project we defined up front. So let's look at the transcription. When we open our file, we can see that our display is divided into 3 sections. On top, we have our actual recording. Let's make it a bit smaller. Here we have our transcript below. And then on the right, we have our editing toolbar and our AI processing toolbar. You see in our transcript that the speakers were already tagged. Because we had an online meeting, this is then automatically based on the people that joined the call, or you can just edit it like this. Before analyzing our transcript, we might want to make some edits to make it more readable and a bit cleaner. We can use our editing toolbar for that. We have an AI assistant at the top, so we can describe our prompt in natural language. Then we also have a translate feature. So for example, I am a native Dutch speaker, so if I want my transcript fully in Dutch, I can select it here, translate, and there we go. Now let's go back to the original. We have a simple search and replace feature, and at the bottom you can revert back to your original transcript. We cleaned up our transcript. Now let's look at how Scribewave can help us with analyzing this meeting. So we move on to the chat toolbar on the right. And if you remember, we already defined in our project folder that we want to have a standard template for our meeting notes. So this is already here ready for us. It was also sent automatically to our email. If we open it, we can see that it follows the structure we defined. We have our meeting metadata, the scope of the meeting, the processes mentioned, and so on. Now, there's also timestamping included. So, for example, when we look at our manual invoicing flow that was mentioned during our call, and the trigger is defined as primarily for customer integrations and so on. There's also a timestamp you can use to go back to that moment in the meeting and to verify the context it was set in. This makes it very easy to analyze your findings. Beneath, we have the summary of our process frictions and finally the next steps. This is just one possible prompt to analyze this meeting, but if we go back to our chat toolbar, we can see that our assistant already has some standard prompts ready for us. So for example, we can analyze the sentiment of this call, we can create chapters and so on. If we want, we can export our summary made by our AI chat by using this button to download to a Word. And we can also export the whole transcript by using this button to all kinds of formats. We cleaned up our transcript. Now, the only thing that rests me to do is send this meeting note summary to Ulysse, and then my work is done.